So good morning guys, and welcome back to another FR711 even, premiere. So back in the Ryanair, back in India Delta Yankee Alpha, and being a premiere, you guys can probably guess already what's this going to be. Yes, I'm flying in the real world again. So, flying to Venice today with my mother. Basically, she wants to start travelling more herself, because I've been doing a lot myself in the last couple of months, so she wants to travel a bit more. And therefore told me to get a day off work and we'll book a trip together. So picked Venice. Yeah, I'll be heading off today as well. So got an Air France 320 ahead of us, got another Ryanair behind as well. But so our flight today is one that matters. Ryanair 972 from Stansted. So starting up the aircraft, it's 6 in the morning. We fly at 6:20, so being a Tuesday, not expecting too many people to appear. But it'll be interesting to see if anyone chooses this premiere. Like I say, I only ever do this when I fly in the real world, and it's kind of a way to bring you guys with me whenever I do travel. So we'll start off with the basics. Let me start the flight trackers as well. So start this. Don't think we'll start the boarding process just yet, passengers. But it shouldn't be too long. Bear in mind, my setup is automatically done from this point. Fuel truck is also sitting there, so we can refuel as soon as that's ready. So starts off with the IRS, the important bits, and then start getting that to align the aircraft. So position, clear that. It's Echo Golf Sierra Sierra, and we are at stand. Ooh, hang on, let me double check if I type that in right. 42 right. Yeah, I plugged that in wrong. Sierra Sierra, 42 right. Get the nearest location, plug it in, and go to route. Thanks, stick on legs. Stansted to Lips, Lima, India, Papa, Zulu. No company route with flight number FR792. And our runway in use, I believe it's 22. What I will do is set up the flight plan. I believe we actually have a controller on as well. I did double check it. Double check is still there. Yeah, Stansted Tower 123.8. So we're tuning into that. 123.8. And then we'll go for the actual clearance. Ouch! That was a bit of a loud one to tune into. What are they saying? Is this even in English? Alright, where's my call sign? Sorry, that's incorrect on the screen. We are 484 Whiskey. You put that in correctly. And I'll try and attempt to talk to these people, but it does not sound very great. Ryanair 484 Whiskey, just checking. This is Stansted Tower, right?
Ryanair 48 Whiskey, perfect evening, stand by. I've got someone being an idiot.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'll stand by. Right, well that's a bit of a...
You're going to listen to your taxi instructions.
It's going to be the Air France, almost definitely. It was we'll continue the aircraft setup, and then we'll figure out the rest. So plug in the route now. Let's bring that up. We'll start the boarding process, and also while we're at it, let's start packs as well. So start flight, take it normal view. Echo Golf Sierra Sierra to Lips. It's 15 minutes to take off. Flight time 2 hours exactly. Cruising altitude 37,000, and flight number FR972. We're a 737-800 with a total of ground info. Not ground info, sorry, weight and fuel. Packs 140. It's quite light. Quite light according to Vamsis. Custom safe demo. We'll plug in the right now one safety and accepts that. Let's go back to the route. So quite a few places to plug in.
484 whiskey. Sorry about that, Tower. Hello.
Yeah, no worries about that. Requesting clearance to Venice if possible. Alright, we'll see what we'll do first. There we go.
484 whiskey, cleared to Venice, Clapton 4 Sierra departure, Scoop 0513, GNH 998, information keeper.
998. Plug that in. Please repeat squawk, and also is it runway 22 for departure? Ryanair 484 whiskey.
Ryanair 484 whiskey, negative runway 04.
04, okay.
0513.
0513. That's perfect. 04 for departure. So it will be squawk 0493 on the departure Charlie November for Sierra for Ryanair 484 whiskey.
Ryanair 484 whiskey, correct.
There we go. So Conan, bit of a hectic start I must say already, thanks to the Air France. Anyways, Uniform Lima 607, we'll now plug in the rest of our routes, and hopefully be a little bit more serious with how the setup goes. So Remember next, followed by Uniform Mike 624. To Dick. Uniform November 852.
Follow this taxiway all the way to the end.
GTQ. Golf Tango Quebec. Uniform Zulu 343. Okay, does not exist, so I'll go straight to Beggar. Followed by Uniform Lima 15. Rippus. Next is Uniform November 850. I have to say, the flight to Venice hasn't got a few more waypoints than the return. I mean, I did the flights to Southend recently, direct to SRN, and that had quite a light number of, oh gosh, waypoints in comparison. This just seems a bit crazy. Rip do. In fact, I don't quite trust the waypoint I've already selected, so I'll just go on top of that. Lima 995, followed by Lupos, M859. Don't forget we're only flying to Venice, not like going miles away, so it's M859. Followed by Boa. We're almost there. Yankee 504 to Nimum. And then finally it's Zulu 43 to Sovub. Okay, it doesn't exist, so just go straight to Sovub. S-O-V-U-B. Wow, okay. So got a departure set already. That's all fine. Init ref is fine. QNH should have been set. RS is just aligned. Perfect timing. I cannot complain about that. And so I think next thing we'll do is just ensure that the aircraft has been fueled. So go to ground services. Nope. Wait and fuel. 8928. 8.928. Whoops, no, that should be 21.7. 8.928, it should be here.
Je demande, je départ, s'il vous plaît. J'ai un schedule.
Right, plug in the weights. 1.1, 23, 370. Transition's fine. N1 limit, set that. Parts already done, so we'll go straight for the 10 degrees of flaps. Center of gravity, 1, 2, 3. So 144 rotates, so we'll plug that in.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight. When you find your
Since
seat,
the
please
fuel is
ensure
now
you
done,
place
we
your
can
larger
turn on
carry-on
the
items in
seatbelt
overhead
sign,
bins and smaller items underneath
and
the seat in front
that
of
can
you.
now
Unless
leave.
you're in a front row, please place all of your items
Left
in
hand
the overhead
fuel tanks for the APU. Once we're ready to start that up,
identification for your carry-on items, please let a flight attendant
and turn
know
on
as soon as
the
possible.
window heat and probe heats.
If the overhead bin is full, please make sure you close it as a courtesy
Set the
to
altitude
other
to
passengers.
37,
Please double check that all your items are put away so that the aisle is clear and other passengers can make their way
and
to their
same
seats.
on the
If you're in an
PFD.
emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in the card in the seat back in front of you. If you're not able to comply with these actions, please let a flight
That's
attendant know.
sorted.
That way
Flight
you can
directors on and
You are
on.
free to use your portable
Start we won't turn on
electronic
just
devices
yet.
during the boarding process.
Communication
We
ribbon
ask that
set,
larger
that's
electronic
fine. A
devices
little
are
low,
stored with you
but
departing
I'm
the
sure that'll
gate.
change
Thank
once we
you
start
and
our
welcome aboard.
engines. And everything else seems to be pretty much ready for departure. Still another 9 minutes to actually start our pushback for real, so we'll give it a couple minutes before we do that. I'm going to have to say that the live bit of cargo this aircraft would now be done, so we'll lower this. Ground services, better pushback pre-plan. Won't request it just yet. But we'll go to the close taxiway. If he does give us a different instruction, then we shall change that. That's the overheads. Your dampener can come on. Anti-ice and wing anti-ice, we'll turn them on just for the moment, since it was the night recently, so just in case something has frozen overnight, but it shouldn't really be much of an issue. Make sure everything is also off as set. Engine bleed should be off, APU bleed is off, and we'll close the cargo door before opening the we'll be starting up the APU. Again, just a reminder for those who are just tuning in that this is a premiere, and therefore I'm flying in the real world today, so this must be a exact live stream, but recorded not actually too long beforehand. I'm only going out in 2-3 days, so quite a recent one to be honest with you. And hopefully with packs as well. In fact, let's just greet the passengers, shall we? Good morning, ladies. Really? Try that again, shall we? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking from the flight deck. Welcome aboard the flight FR792 to Venice from London Stansted. Flight time will be about 2 hours, and weather should be clear all round. Our weather at Venice today should be around 27 degrees, so expect a nice and hot one, as our flight departs in a couple of minutes. Keeps cutting off too early. It's a generic public address. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the flight deck. Welcome aboard the flight FR972 to Venice from London Stansted. Flight time will be about 2 hours, and weather should be clear all round. Our weather at Venice today should be around 27 degrees, so expect a nice and hot one. Yeah, I really need to get this looked into. Right, APU set, APU bleed set, ground power comes off, and let's now secure the cockpits. Left hand side. They just said that the cabin has been completed boarding, so we'll close the entrances and close the doors. Next will be... Not that, sorry. I want to go to... Yeah, that's basically everything I've done on this. APU set, APU is working.
FR791, sorry, that's got about you. No further ATC available. Monitoring com 123, collection 122, definitely.
It's fine. If there's no other tower, then I can probably get rid of the show on the line as well. And very shortly, request our pushback. Ground handling, all drive away. Everything's secure.
FR791, I don't understand French.
Good riddance.
You forgot me?
Right,
Je suis en avion. Je suis dans l'air. Et vous, moi. Incroyable.
what is going on?
Je suis en retard parmi vous.
Request pushback as soon as he's finished speaking French.
Je dans l'air.
Bring on the hydraulic pumps.
Incroyable.
Bring on the other two fuel tanks. Center tank there's 1,000 kilos of fuel in there, so we'll turn those on. If you're quite finished, 484 whiskey requesting a push and start, stand 42 right.
Finance
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard.
Finance
Please note the
484
cabin
whiskey
doors now
stand
closed.
42
We ask that you
right.
make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger
Push and
devices
start
are
approved,
not set
484
down and
whiskey.
stowed. If you have not
Right.
already,
Ground to
please fasten
cockpit.
your seatbelt.
Please show
Verify
me
that
where
the
you
phone
want to
is
go.
loud.
I did not approve my pushback. Okay, so I'll read that again.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Air doors for departure, cross-check, verify straps,
That's
and
good.
stand by for all calls.
What else needs to do? So ground power should be disconnected. GPU get rid of. Set chocks, that's fine. That's all been removed. Pushback's been set already. So tablet, as far as I'm aware, is now useless to me. We'll set the arrival airport here, just in case it's required. Otherwise, don't really need to touch that too much. Stick it on map mode and leave it for you guys to enjoy as well. Pushback target will attach itself. Altitude's been set. Altitude's been set. Heading's fine. Course is fine. And flaps will set after pushback. As far as I'm aware, aircraft is now prepared for takeoff. And the passengers in the back have also
Okay,
been
all doors
prepared.
and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Je suis en retard de 30 minutes. 30 minutes. C'est inacceptable.
I honestly have no idea what's going on with Stansted Tower right now, but they can do their own thing. I mean, like I say, it's it's a quiet day. I'm not going to make a complaint or anything. Like I said, I do like VATSIM for its professionalism and seriousness, but sometimes you can have a lighter day, I guess. Alright, aircraft's being raised. About 3 minutes before ready to go, so if I check the passenger stats on here.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake release, so about 2.5 minutes till we should be leaving, which is fine.
You may start engines.
That's fine. Engine to start. Should have set the lights as well to announce that we are moving. Local lights not required, it is daytime. Engine to start.
Décidé en complaint.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Right, engine 1 will start up in a second. There we go. Engine 1 can start now. Pushback's almost complete. Now next runway 04. We'll make the straight taxi here, make a slight right turn before making a left, down to the end of the airport, and then switch onto the runway depending on whatever hold points we've been given from controller.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set, engines are active,
Stand by.
power on the engines, bleeds switch, packs active, APU off,
No.
whoops,
Idéal complet.
sets TCAS to active.
Ici.
Yeah, the other rain area there has disconnected. That's the Air France that's caused a bit of a hassle for us this morning. Like I say, we'll let it pass. Flaps down to 10. First flight of the day, so most important one. We'll do the systems check. We've got all the
We're
flight
ready for departure.
surfaces. Perfect. Back to engines.
Cell is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
There we go. So we'll see the push back to the left. And also now request taxi. 484 Whiskey is requesting taxi instructions to runway. Yeah, so still active. Hand signal given. Which my trim is set as well.
Ryanair 484 Whiskey, taxi holding point Kilo 1, hold short runway 04, via link Charlie Juliet, link to Lima, hold down Kilo.
Charlie, taxi holding points, Romeo 1.
No.
What did you say there?
Should we go there? Pourquoi je taxi?
Please say again taxi instructions for Ryanair 484 Whiskey. Parking brake released. Put on the taxi lights.
Ryanair 484 Whiskey, taxi holding point Kilo 1, hold short runway 04, via link Charlie Juliet, link Lima, H7 Kilo.
Taxi to
Pourquoi je taxi?
short points Kilo 1 via Charlie, Juliet, Kilo and Lima. Right, throttle up. Let's make way to the runway. Like I say, with Stansted, it's not so much I now need to know what the taxi names are, it's just a case of knowing where I am already and making my way down.
Whiskey, sorry about that. I don't know what to explain it by.
Don't you worry about it. It was one of those days.
Un jour pour vous, bâtard.
Gosh, you should be on Unicom for ages ago now. What are you still doing there? If I was in a sour mood, I would have done a dot wallop right now, but like I said, I'm not going to create too much of a fuss around it. So we'll cut across the taxiway here. Taxi will be about 2 minutes, although I want to get to the long straight bit. I'll definitely put the throttle up a tiny bit to kind of speed things up a little. The classic Ryanair high-speed taxis that we do in some smaller airports. And then, yeah, we'll be airborne in no time. I mean, it's a 2-hour flight. Though flying southward in Europe usually means that winds are on our side, so expect a nice tailwind as we start making our way towards Belgium, I believe it is. We're not going to go via France. We're going to try and avoid it for the most part, as the French airstrikes do seem to happen quite often. Although today it's not looking too bad. We actually should be alright if we do need to go into French airspace. And regarding the real world trip, like I say, I'm on board this aircraft in the real world. I'm sitting right now in 26F. And well, yeah, it should be a fun little trip out to Venice. I'll talk about a few of the things that we've already got pre-booked for it. And then my flight back actually is this evening, so I'm only doing a day trip today. Not as much of a trip as I've done in the past, but regardless, should be a bit of fun this. So like I say, I'll talk more about that after we've departed. And then also drop a link to the other streams as well. Speaking of high-speed taxi, we are now coming in up to about 40 knots, so we'll cut the throttles back a bit. By the time it gets to Kilo 1, that's November 1. Lima 3. Kilo. Alright, okay, so it's the second last taxiway we need. Make sure we got our final checks done. So flaps set, trim set, aircraft pressurized, pack set, same thing. Bleed set, auto brakes. We'll do that once we've paused, and then we have got active tower, meaning there's no need to do a manual check of the runway. We'll have clearance and assurance that this runway is clear for us to enter.
F484 whiskey runway 04, clear to take off, 770 degrees 06 knots.
Clear for takeoff, 484 whiskey. Good lord, he's still here. Right. Landing lights set, everything's set. Enter the runway, auto throttle set, projector takeoff brakes active. They're blacked out, so use they're on. We're on 04. Throttle up 50%. Both engines stable. Off we go. Sorry, 80 knots, missed that one. Pay attention to the conversation there, should be focusing on takeoff. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. We will say don't sink, but not for too long until the aircraft realises that we are over the altitude. Like I say, the QNH sounded a little low for this departure, but I'm not going to question it as long as ATC is happy to ensure it's 998. Flaps up to 5. 1000. Autopilot set. Lock the landing gear pressure. Brakes off. Flaps up to 1. 12.8. Have a nice day and enjoy your French mother meeting. 128. Make sure that our next waypoint is going to be our next waypoints. Like I say, sometimes the aircraft can be a bit funny with its waypoints. In fact, let's make a Charlie November our next. Just kind of ensure that we are going to be on the departure path. Everything's looking fine as it is. Flaps up, sorry, full now. Before we go too fast with them down. Anti-ice not required, so we'll shut those off. That's all looking fine. Aircraft is airborne, so like I say, 2 hours to go. As far as passengers are aware, have to get a few minutes in before the end of that. So continue our climb until about 10,000 feet before we shut off the seatbelt sign, and then we'll continue with the rest. Landing lights and seatbelts off 10,000. And then we're open for communication because, like I say, there's not really much I need to work on today. If we're on Unicom for the majority of the flights, not particularly much I need to stress out about either. Also, close the flight plans if you don't require that. VAMSys don't particularly need either. As I say, I'm a little surprised there's only 141 passengers on board, so that's not as much as we normally get. But let's go have a look at some of them, shall we? Let's see who we've got on board. Got Wayne Neal, Kurt Lucas, Shelley Roberts, Donald Webber, Roy Russell, Charlotte Wilson. I could genuinely go through every single passenger and name them in the time we've got, but I'm not that crazy. Otherwise, it's again a fair mix of leisure and business. A few young ones as well. There we go. Actually, one thing I should maybe look into, when it came to younger passengers, FS passengers, always good to kind of include them in the family, so a bunch of people with the same surname. With this one, you've got a 4-year-old, Brittany Cook. There is not another passenger with the surname. Oh no, Jason Cook, 77 years old, on business. So it could be a grandfather, granddaughter trip, I guess, to Venice. He does his work and then they look around the town or something. But like I say, make sure that we have got families groups together. Would be nice to have, kind of just as a bit of focus. I go, Watson. Do we have another Watson on board? The answer looks like a no, actually. Oh yeah, Julie Watson, 31 years old, also in business. Maybe we have got surnames. We've just gone for the facts that... Hang on. EGSS Tower. Nagasaki. Fairfield. Away for an A320. Is it not? This Stansted Tower, guys, like I'll be having a bit of a fun convo with the first bit of the flights. Like I'm saying, it'd be nice to have the passenger seat together, but knowing Ryanair do split families and all that, and you have to pay for seats to kind of fit them all together. Again, not too dissimilar to how the real world works, especially with this airline. No hate for Ryanair, I've never had a problem with these guys, but sometimes you can look at their policies and kind of just laugh, I guess, with where some of them come from. As I always say, for a flight that costs you no more than a train ticket cross country in the UK, or even a bus fare, it's just not worth complaining. It really isn't. I don't know any other airline that gave me cross country for no more than 30 quid, including extras that I go for, which is usually just the seats, nothing else. Parking wise, I got my family to drop me off, and yeah, that's really about it. Book a flight, book a seat, and you're done. So when I went to Bilbao and Biarritz earlier in the year, the flights returned something like £18, and then it's plus £8 for the seats there and back, so 18 plus 8, 26 quid. 26 quid for return flights. Nothing. It really is. Alright, we're gonna hold off for a few more seconds before we get to the next waypoint, Conan, which will bring us to a higher altitude to climb to. Everything's pretty low at the moment, but nothing to worry about. Left-hand passengers join the view. Right-hand passengers join the view. Not a cloud in the sky. And like I say, I'm expecting temperatures of around 27, 28 degrees in Venice today, so certainly good weather to enjoy as well. I've never actually been to Italy before, so I say always a first for everything. So, since we are going to climb for a little bit, I guess, I'll start talking about what I'm actually going to do in Venice once I do arrive. I mean, first things first, we've got a gondola ticket booked for 11 AM when we get there. So, we land at 20 past 9 local time, 20 past 8 UK time, so very early in the morning indeed. In fact, this premiere, will probably start and finish before most of you guys have even woken up. We've actually gone to school or whatever. Maybe some of you will wake up and tune in, we'll see. I guess that's kind of the main hope. But No, this is definitely an earlier one than usual. Part is 20 past 6, we arrive at 20 past 9. Total time 2 hours exactly. And then as soon as we leave the airport, Venice Marco Polo, it's then a 20-minute bus ride from the airport to city centre. So that's pretty easy, nothing to worry about. With Azvo, the local Italian bus company. So I'm not expected to actually arrive at Venice any later than 10 a.m. sorry, local time. And the gondola starts at 11. We need to be there 15 minutes early, so 10:45. Basically, the first thing we're going to do when we get there is walk to the start of the gondola points, and then that'll be about 30 minutes. We've got a guided tour, so I'll get to listen to audio recording of the city. 30 minutes of that, like I say, and we got the rest of the day to ourselves. Find somewhere for lunch, that's for sure. Should be a lot of fun. And then our return flights, like I say, it's in the evening. Depart Venice at 25 past 9 at local time. So there will be a premiere for that. Do tune in. It starts at 8:15 UK time, 9:15 local time, and that'll be the flights back to the UK. TCAS now set, so past 6, and very nearly passing 10 as well. Seatbelt sign will turn off. The landing lights we can turn off momentarily, and anything else will stay active for a little bit longer. Alright, zoom out on the PFD since we are now out of the SID and well on our way. Oh yep, and leaving via Holland on Sea. We are now out of the United Kingdom.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet, so you may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatories.
Perfect. So past 10,000, speed can now increase, going to go to about 277 knots. Checking the wind, it's a 19 knot tailwind, so that's nice and good for us. And have a look at the route as well. Yeah, so we do move to the east slightly. And then once we reach the waypoints, is that Ritax? Ritax, yes. Then we'll make our way southward again with the tailwinds, and that'll be the sure way to gain some time in the air. Stronger the winds, the faster it means we're going, without really affecting our ground speed in any way. And therefore, like I said, flight time will be shorter, passengers are happier, and then the flight will continue with even less problems. On the left hand side, not much to view. Right side's got a little more of the UK, although not particularly much. Got the starts of the River Thames there, the estuary leading to city centre. But regardless of that, it's going to be a fairly clear journey now to the north of Italy. Any addresses you can really go for? I mean, seatbelt sign on, something that we should probably have as default as well. There's certainly a few things that I'd put in as changes. As I said, I've got direct communication with Colin at the moment, so this being the Flight Sim Expo weekends. Best not talk to him this week. Maybe next week I'll try and force something out of him. Because like I say, my biggest annoyance is the fact that the recordings only get about halfway. So we certainly need to find a way to extend that. Fuel light comes on, sensor tank is empty, these come off, and everything else is standard. So, soon to pass 20,000 now. Flight level 200. Have a look at the actual altitude. We're now 19,4517. 19,600 is so not particularly difference between the two. Sometimes there can be a slight difference between actual altitude and what's it? Actual altitude and what's it called? One on display, indicated altitude. That's it. Like I said, sometimes it's going to be a slight difference between the two, but in this instance, nothing particularly out of the norm. Let's see if the Stansted guy's still online. Although I presume he's probably given up on the idiots and left. Yeah, he's disconnected now. I've got Gatwick approach online, Manchester Tower, and whoever Delta Lima is. But yeah, Stansted has enough now, so he's gone disconnected. We might get another tower later on, actually. I'm a little hopeful for that, but we'll see what happens later on in the flights. Like I said, it's nice to get an actual tower on for once, but it may be quiet for the remainder of the flight. Unicom will provide some live commentary, I guess, but not particularly much. Right, as we now start to get some Amsterdam traffic in, so I suppose to get a little bit busier. Cloud-wise, some cloud cover going on, but nothing too major. And yeah, definitely no X-Enviro going on here. I don't get the X-Enviro clouds. I mean, they're volumetric and they're fancy in terms of actual technology, but as it stands, they look weird. They do look kind of weird. Sometimes they look alright. You need to get the right lighting, I guess, and mount in, but otherwise, I think the comparisons are at the moment. It looks like shaving foam. It looks like cotton candy. Those are the two main comparisons you get at the moment. But no, certainly was created a massive divide in the community as a whole. So on the Explain 11 forums, sorry, Facebook group, something I'm an admin on, we do get quite a lot of posts about this, and certainly a lot of arguments from both sides. So just past 30,000, 300. Cruising altitude in approximately. What's our time actually for our next waypoints? That'll tell us. It tells us here actually. Yeah, 0647. We're actually about to touch waypoint now, so it'll be the next one we care about. Just give that a second to tick over. Come on, 2 miles. There we go. 0653. So 6 minutes to reach cruising altitude. Maybe a bit shorter than that, since it's just jumped. So maybe 4 minutes till cruising. We've got cruise. Now over Belgium, like I said. And if you have got a flight plan, if I should zoom out a bit as well, won't be particularly too long until we reach Germany. So yeah, going to fly over Brussels, head over the border around Liège. I'm actually across Luxembourg, looking at the map. Depends if you have a right-hand turn coming up, shooting 80 miles. So you may actually cross over Luxembourg before reaching the Italian Alps, rather than the descending for Venice. So if my flight from Southend was anything to go by, it will be similar routing just over. Well, actually, at this point, we'll be exactly on the same line. There we go, 1,000 to go. It's not far from cruising altitude. And there we go. Like I said, I've not got much particularly to do. As always with these premieres, a little bit of a struggle since there's no actual chat going on, no one to really respond to. It's just me on my own, dragging it out for 2 hours. At this point, I'll be sitting in about this seat here, maybe a little bit further back, not by much though. What would I really be doing? I don't really have a movie or anything to watch. I could find something, I guess, to try and watch. Maybe see if I got something off Google Play I can rent, we'll see. But really just sit back, close my eyes and just rest for a bit. 2 hours of extra sleep can't be too bad. And so, by the time we do reach Venice, I'll be nice and rested and ready to start off the day. As I say, I don't plan to arrive at Venice until much later than 10. Have our first look at the city before heading to the gondola. Gondola take about half an hour, plus time it takes to get on board and off board and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, trip doesn't really start until 11. First hour is taken by the boats, followed by about, I'd say, 7 hours of walking around, looking at sights, find a cafe, have either a pasta or a pizza. And yeah, should be a good day out regardless of what happens. And hopefully my last midweek break of the year, because if I am going to make my 2 weeks in Finland come December, I am now quite stretched out of the breaks thanks to stretched with the days off thanks to my week in Poland and Greece. So let me actually have a calculate. Get 23 off in a year. Poland was taking 5 days, so 23 take away 5 is 18. 6 off for Greece, so 18 take away 5 is 13. Plus I had today 12. 1 day Biarritz 11. I'm sure I've had 1 day around that as well, so 10. Although my contracts, I actually don't know if I get it holidays for a calendar year or a working year, tax year. So it could be a reset in April, it could be a reset in December. If it resets in April, then my Poland holiday doesn't count, and so I've still got 18 days left. But then if my days off are on a calendar year, sorry, on a tax year, then it does mean that next year will take into account. Because actually, yeah, if it's calendar year as well, so, sorry, I'm getting confused now. So if it's calendar year, Poland does count, but the days in January don't. But if I do it by tax year, then Poland doesn't count, but the days in January does. So that's the dilemma. How many days off do I actually have left off by the end of the year? I do need to speak to the finance guy about that, but it can be a bit confusing, especially when trying to plan out the rest of the year. I mean, I can always try and get away with 1 or 2 more days without much issue, because if I do go for the calendar year, then it's... how many days will I be in Finland over the weekends? It'd be another 3 days. So I've got another 3 days I can throw somewhere. Although... yeah, I think calendar would be easy for me, so I get those 3 days, which I'll probably spend more towards my PPL and reward flying license, as opposed to trips away. Trips away will just stick to weekends and 1 night in the foreign country. But yeah, this is a dilemma I'm in. I mean, it is now June, so we are halfway through the year. But if I chose not to go to Finland, then I still have 2 more weeks I can take. But like I say, Finland is the end goal for me. Come next year, things will be a little bit easier for me to figure out. As it stands, that trip will almost certainly be happening. I'm not expecting much of a reason why it wouldn't be. So a quick look at the passengers now, get an update of the fee in the cabin. Still satisfied. I actually did my top of crew, so I'll do a quick message now. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck. We have now reached our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. It's about 30 meters high, and we are well on our way to Italy. We should get a few minutes early by the end of the flight. I'll do an update to that later on, but as it stands, the weather's looking pretty good. A few clouds here and there, but regardless, still a nice hot day once you do land. Still cuts me off, that's fine. This will just be a generic public address, I believe. Yeah, it's not diversion, not a problem. Yeah, it should be generic.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck. We have now reached our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet, which is about 30 meters high, and we are well on our way to Italy. We should get a few minutes early by the end of the flight. I'll do an update to that later on, but as it stands, the weather's pretty good. A few clouds here and there.
How high do I say we are? 30 meters high. No, we're about 13,000 meters high, not 30. 13,000 even. Yes, this is the right hand turn now. That should bring us over Luxembourg. Presume we're still within that airspace. Yeah, so we will be flying over Luxembourg around the tip of it, at the northern border, and then after you pass that, the wind should head in a more southerly direction. As it stands, heading 285. We're now at 125, so slight crosswind from the back, but regardless, still a tailwind. And so the more south you are, the more south it heads. And by the time we are at Venice, things will be even better then. Have a look at the time updates. ETA is 1 hour 20:50. This claims it will be how many minutes? 53 minutes to arrival. Yeah, that's certainly not going to happen. Never listen to VAMSys for arrival time. The top of the screen does claim 7:52 Zulu. 6:59 at 7:52. So yeah, that also claims about 52 minutes. 51 minutes now to landing. We'll see. If we can make it in an hour, then I'd be beyond thrilled, but it's not going to happen. Certainly not. We are apparently just about halfway. A little bit left to go for we to reach that. Again, we are nowhere near halfway for the flights. If I zoom out on the PFD, as the crow flies, I'd say maybe 450 miles to go. 450 to go. Wind's 39 knots, not particularly too fast. Look outside. Terrain's fairly standard again for Central Europe. Flying with default scenery right now. I'm going to try to look into getting some of those freeware mesh add-ons. I'm sure that would certainly improve the ground here. But regardless of that, it's fairly standard fly as it is. We're going to have a look inside the cabin quickly. Why is that on the way out? Okay, I didn't make out the door in time, got pushed back in. Get out and set to the sides, now close it. The peephole does work. In fact, let me go back into the cockpit again just to have a look at it from the inside. Yeah, the peephole does work. Nice little detail from these guys. As I say, for a freeware, the Zybo's a pretty fantastic add-on. You really cannot have any complaints about it. Well, it's not perfect. It's not terrible by any means either. It's a very, very good add-on. They put certainly a lot of time into to get it all working. So yeah, have a look. Coffee machines there. I presume we've got a tap. No, it's not a tap, but obviously like some sort of water liquidy tray there. See the drainage in the top left corner. Same over here. Got the drain, Coke can, and a couple of beers. A few Pepsis, a few Cokes, another coffee machine, fairly standard as per usual. Backside here we've got the cabin lighting panel, we can change all of that. Interphone speaks to the cabin. Now an interphone, this one's for the crew I believe it is. Crew or cabin in case of emergencies, or you communicate from sitting down position, so during landing as well. And a short walk through the cabin, we'll see the passengers on board the aircraft for the flights. Not quite Ryanair interior, and I would like to see at some points maybe a full economy class layouts, because not particularly many airlines that fly 737 will put like a first class layout inside of it. Especially in the US, okay, maybe there'll be a few more, but within Europe, first class in a 737 doesn't particularly exist in any way or shape or form. Yeah, the 737 MAX 200 for Ryanair. The main change with that is this toilet here has now been removed for another 2 rows of seats, and then this back alley here has been replaced with a toilet as well. So there's a toilet at the front, there's a toilet at the back. These two are gone. 2 more rows of seats, 2 more rows of seats, and then they're squeezing in a total of 197 passengers, and then the flight crew will easily bring it to 199 plus 5 cabin crew, 204 without any hassle. just gonna check now actually the project fly map. Does anybody exist south where we are right now? As it stands, yeah, there's no communication at the moment. There is a Swiss A320 currently at Venice. But he looks like he's soon to depart himself anyway for Zurich, so I doubt I'll be spotting much of them when I arrive. Yeah, nothing else really coming out of me either. There's British Airways behind me, British Airways 777 from Heathrow to Roland Garros. Where on earth is that? Well, it's 11 hours away anyway, but you are just behind me. Yes, I'm on the Luxembourg border. He is central Luxembourg. So, I'm going to just jump position now. Yeah, so where that Luxembourg text is, he's just to the right of that. And let's see what this ground speed actually is, if you'll catch up with me or not. Ground speed is 425 knots. We're going 466. Actually going a lot faster. So yeah, I presume you're just being a bit more fuel efficient for your longer distance journey. Yeah, so what's that? Speedbird 974, captained by Jack Thatcher. Oh, he's a Thomas Cook engineer at Manchester. Interesting to know. Yeah, I'm a little tired right now, but I'm not going to stop much in terms of flights. How long until I maybe start thinking about setting up my approach information? Because now that we are going to fly through France, actually. So we're going from France into Switzerland. Over Zurich. I'm actually going to come in the long way. Those things into Italy. I was expecting more of the flight for, what was I thinking? Yeah, through Belgium into Germany and around the Frankfurt area. So it's certainly a little west to what I was expecting, but I guess the winds in this direction was a little easier. Venice to the lower right of the screen right now. So there will be a left turn for sure. In fact, 80 miles there is. That brings us to Venice. What have I just pressed there? Ah, Brian, it's okay, nothing too important, I've just messed up. Yeah, so continue that, and then after the left turn, we'll make our way into Venice Airport itself. If I look at the weather right now, winds are 6 knots at 060. So it'll certainly be a runway 22 landing. 22 right, I believe is the correct one. Let me have a remember. It's the runway heading southwards, southwest. 22 left. And the approach we'd be going for is, do we have a SOVAB approach? We should do, yes we do. Execute that. And now legs should be fine as they are. So yeah, Nimum, SOVAB, Indod, and into the runway. So landing speeds later, once enough fuel burn and time has passed, as well as updated winds at Venice. We certainly are making very good time at the moment. We'll definitely be arriving quite a few minutes earlier than I was expecting. This still claims we're only... Oh, we're actually an hour away now. It was up down to 50 minutes at one point, and that's 1 hour and 4 minutes. Ah, sorry, no, it's the way the conflict is, so yeah. 1 hour 4 minutes on PAX, while Smart Cars claims it to be 39 to the rival. So adds maybe 10 minutes to taxi, so 49.50. Yeah, it's another 15 minutes of difference. We'll see if that changes when we're closer to our destination. Make a quick weather update, make sure that this doesn't mess around too much. Nothing major, fortunately. So another quick update. Yeah, we're certainly making great time now, so soon be entering the German airspace again for a short period into Switzerland. And it's a left turn that takes us into Venice. Clouds are certainly clearing up. We head south. In fact, our altitude does look a little lower than it was earlier in the flight as well. We are still 37,000. But it looks like we have dropped a little bit. There's level down below as well. Let's have a look what airport this is. It's current location. Let's zoom a few times to that. Whoops. Yeah, I don't quite understand the map just yet still. Zoom in a few more. Some more detail comes in, and the airport is just south of here. My guess is where it's hatched off. Nope, it's not a military base. Directly below and left of our position. Dessenheim, Nature Reserve of Hartwald. Train mine that stops at Nedertsen. Hirtsfelden. I actually can't find it. It could be this, like I say. Could be this, just over covered. But I can't find much about the airport that we're now flying over. Yeah, so Mulhouse is the nearby town. Left turn. That will definitely bring us back into German airspace. The Alps in flight more southerly again. Heading towards the 16170 mark. And then after we reach the waypoint of Odina, that's where we then get a direct clear path into our approach. And we've already decided which runway we'll be landing on, as well as our approach path. That's already been preset basically for us. So it's now just a case of semi-top descent once I am at that waypoint. And then, yeah, make our ways down to the ground in a couple of minutes. ETA now sits at 30 minutes, half an hour till landing, which isn't too bad. And, yeah, it's been a very calm flight this morning, I will say. Local time at 7:25. That will also be UK time. Next time in Italy will be 8:25, so 7:55 Zulu landing, 8:55 Zulu landing. Sorry, not Zulu. Yeah, so would 7:55 Zulu be? Again, I don't understand if that's the right Zulu or not, because the flight dates. Which, yeah, at the time we are now in daylight savings. That should be +1 technically. 7:54 Zulu, which means 8:54 landing, or 9:54 landing local time. That's the thing. It's not 9:54 local time. It'll be 8:54 local time. We should be +1. If I just look at the flight config, 2 seconds. Don't mind me. Yeah, it should be +60 seconds because of local time. So I am actually slightly incorrect with that. I'll make sure that in future flights it gets corrected. I presume that explains doesn't quite understand daylight savings, and as a result, it's why the flight time, at least the sim world time, is slightly different to the real world at the moment. Lighting wise, won't be too much difference. Sunrise and sunsets around the same, but yeah, like I say, it's still a slight difference between the two at the moment. Right, so now start zooming on the PFD, since we are within 600 miles of the airport. So we got our final waypoint in a little while, Odina, for its large jump to our final. Alps to our right hand side, we'll be able to spot those when we cross them over. Left side also be fairly mountainous, but not quite as large, I don't think. I don't know, let's take that back. Quite large both sides. Right hand side might get us a view of Mont Blanc actually. So that needs to come into that sort of region. Be more towards the horizon, but you never know what you can see. And well, yeah, looking out of the Alps should be rather interesting. I've seen it once, as I was going to Greece. I mean, our route in the sim was slightly different to the real world because of the French airstrikes, which completely changed the entire routing. Instead of France was now Germany. But yeah, like I said, certainly a spectacle from the air, and at some points I do want to visit the Alps at some points in the real world as well. Kind of just be on the ground, look up at the mountains. I've always wanted to try skiing. I've never gone skiing before. That is certainly a life goal of mine to actually do it at some points. And hopefully not too far away, but yeah, definitely got to take lessons at some points. Actually, next month I should be in Milton Keynes. So it's a good chance if I do go to Milton Keynes, I might do a indoor skiing session in there. There is a site that does it, so you never know. It could be rather interesting. Also depends how long I'll be in Milton Keynes for. Might even do an overnighter, we'll see. Just spend like a whole day there. Presuming it's towards the end of the week and not a weekday. That's also need to take that into account. Alright, so left turn now coming up very shortly. And our top ascent is right off that Ripley point, coming in the top now as well, 160 miles. Would be the right hand side. That could be Mont Blanc in the distance right there. Certainly the highest peak in the local area. But I feel it may be a little bit too close to be the actual one. Yeah, not quite a right angle either. That's towards the sun. Mont Blanc would be more that direction, so on a totally clear day maybe spot it. It's like this, we do fly. Could be a little cloudy and therefore not quite visible to us. Passengers your right hand side looking nice and good. Left hand side also starting to get a bit mountainous. In the back, fairly standard passenger seating. And yeah, it was looking good. Now head to the airport information, refresh the stats. It's 6 knot wind, 060. Currently 20 degrees Celsius, dew point 17. 1018. So 20 degrees, like I say, we're expecting highs of 26 today. So by the time we do come to our approach, we'll be able to mark around that. 1018, and then this will back up to 1018 as well. I've got the tablet set both left and right hand sides. Barometers to the same thing. As soon as we just disconnect. How far are we now to our next turn? 2 miles. Sorry. Next waypoint's in 2 miles. The left turn's in about 20 miles. Alright, so it's a minute until we make our left turn, and that guides us right onto the path to Venice. Right to the top of the descent at least. So, yeah, 60 miles or so to the top now. 7:56, now 7:39. 17 minutes till land till descent. Not long to go now. so let's have a look at the approach stats now, since we need to start thinking about landing. Whoops. It's 2,000 for the runway. Though, yeah, I need to bear in mind. No ILS we're going to plug in, so have to work without. Glide slope on. See if I can get the highest information. We will get it for runway 04. 04 right. So would it be 22 left? Make sure what I plugged in. Yeah, it is 22 left. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. So it's 151. That's 30. Flux 5 knots. Wind's correct. Does that automatically go in? I presume it does. Yeah, that's fine. What else do we now require? So it's 119.95. 109.95, sorry. It's last used frequency. And there's no exact heading I can use. 22. See if we get the heading here. Not particularly, no. So if we just put 220 on the heading, we can probably just use that. In fact, if it's 0439, it'll be 221, the runway heading. So I'll put 221 in both courses. How can I scroll? There we go. Nope. Yes. 221. Zoom once more. Aircraft on my left apparently. Quick look at not smart cars but Project's flight. Have a look at the radar and go to our position, which is now coming up to the French-German border. Yeah, we've got a left turn coming up shortly, I presume, since we are now heading towards. So if we're staying in this direction long enough, we'll be heading over Parma, which is certainly not where we want to be. Venice is now directly to our east. For the runway, we'll be heading slightly south for that. So runway 22 means we're coming in from north regardless, so yeah, it'll be a left turn to kind of loop the aircraft around as it looks. Let's have a look. Yes, 12%, make a left, coming in via the coast, then make a final turn over the land. So we actually fly over Venice city centre during our approach, which would be rather interesting. Airport, yeah, so flying over the city centre, which could come in for some interesting sights. Yeah, the Swiss flights, the A320, has since departed, so they're now on their way to Zurich. Quite a short flight, 27 minutes till they arrive. And then there's not another aircraft in the sky going towards Venice. Which there could be one. Nope, you're going to Bolanzo, which is nearby, but not quite. Yeah, you're 29 minutes away, heading towards Verona. A private P28 Sierra. That's a Pipe 28. Yeah, 1,700 feet per minute climbing, but you're going to stick around 4,000 for the majority of yours. I've got two Alitalia aircrafts. I presume they're sharing cockpits. Yeah, same flight number, same code. I know, different flight number. One's Alitalia 1242, the other one's 1605. And actually quite different airports as well. They're just landing at the same destination. Very close to one another actually. Although both are offline, not on that sim. Sure, that made for some interesting conversation. They were together. Yeah, one's going to land at Milan Gate 16. The other one a couple minutes behind it. Oh, in fact, they've literally just landed. The first one, second one's on the runway now. I'll keep an eye on that on the second tab. But like I say, as it stands, my flight's now at its coming to a rather crucial stage. I set the altitude to 1000, which will be where we'll then go to manual. We'll see if we can use the approach to help us. At some point I should really try a proper RNAV approach. I've never really done an RNAV before. So VDM. We'll just try an RNAV 22 left. Let's give that a go, shall we? Same waypoints and everything. Should still give us a frequency, but regardless, we'll go without it. And again, a reminder, if you do search FR792 into Flight Radar 24, this is also again a real world flight that I'm recording side by side with this. So, as I say, if you want to track my flight in the real world, you can also stick into Flight Radar. Links in the description as well on YouTube, Twitch not so. But I do enjoy these premieres. They are fun to record, maybe a little bit dragging out because I'm not really replying to chat or comments or anything like that. But this is a bit of a different kind of video. It's a different style to do it. Where I'm certainly a lot more focused on the flight rather than the kind of what comments and stuff's going on in the background. And of course we had the random French air traffic control at the start of this one. But again, that kind of calmed down quickly and yeah, turned out to be like nothing major at the end of it. Nothing really problematic out of it. Just a bit of fun. Continue the flight as it is, no questions asked. Right, how far now to the top of the descent? Past next waypoint in a minute. Slight right hands to Lupos. And it's Suvoki where everything starts coming down. See the Italian coastline over in distance over there. Where Venice will now be quite a fair bit behind us. Check the map. Quite a bit behind us. Just got the mountains to our right. I'm sure in the real world we'll actually be taking a bit more of a direct route, because this seems a bit excessive for the southbound. Let's say at least. I'm actually making a right turn now. Not for too long, only for about 30 seconds, but regardless, fair bit off course. So, left turn now coming up. There we go. And with that, we can actually make a way back towards Venice, which shouldn't take us too long. Top percent is right on top of us now, so we will set the altitude to 1000. As soon as we reach that waypoint, we'll then do the both the now. So a couple minutes early, which we need to calculate as well. What is it now? 21 minutes to arrival. Ooh, actually, I may not be too early then, because given you time to land as well. Where is virtual Ryanair? There it is. This puts at 11 minutes to arrival. We need time to taxi as well, so it will possibly just be seatbelt signs coming on. We'll do a general kind of contact, but early arrival, I don't think so. Grab the screenshot, sorry. Must have seen that, use that for later. Possibly even the thumbnail for this one actually. Go, another left turn. Top percent on this waypoint as well. You have now leaved our cruising altitude. Let's do the quick passenger chats.
Flight attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily.
Again, I don't get what this thing about forms is with Americans, but sounds like it's something that they do get quite common. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your captain speaking. We have now started our descent and we'll be arriving in approximately 20 minutes to the gates. So we'll be landing very shortly. Like I say, we're turning on seatbelt signs in a couple of moments. And obviously, hope you have enjoyed the flights, and we hope to see you on a future Ryanair flights very shortly. If this is...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your captain speaking. We have now started our descent and we'll be arriving in approximately 20 minutes to the gates. So we'll be landing very shortly. Like I say, we're turning on seatbelt signs in a couple of moments. And obviously, hope you have enjoyed the flights, and we hope to see you on a future Ryanair flights
very shortly. As always, it cuts me off at the wrong time. I've spoken to Colin about it. He says it's because there's a pause in my microphone, like you can't hear me or anything. But I don't think that's the case. So I'll slowly speak to him again about it. Maybe kind of give him some video proof that something isn't quite right. Time the spoilers. Let's get ourselves down a little bit quicker. Yeah, so monitoring my speed now, because we do need to get the aircraft ready for the landing shortly. Passengers have been informed. I've already done the contact with them, which is fine. So all I need to worry about now is getting the aircraft down. No air traffic control to communicate with. And so, like I say, my job is now to get the aircraft down, manage the speed of the speed brakes. My microphone is really messing about now. Try looking to a new cable. I think it's the cable that's coming in loose. Work that one out. But here we go. Coming through the high altitude cloud layer. Not a particularly thick one. Obviously gaps as well around the cloud. You can actually see the Venice kind of set up in front of us. Airport will be to the left somewhere. We've got city as well. It's a fairly steep turn actually. Quite a late top, but regardless, nothing I need to deal too much with. Here we are, slightly nose down for this one. Just another weather updates. Fresh that. Still 6 knots, 060. Just confirm that this is correct. It's actually 7 now knots, but 040 still. 1018 QNH stays the same. Now passing through 22,000. That'll be that speed brakes down there. So now be 9:03 local time. Like I say, I've kind of messed up the time a bit of the time zones, but that's nothing major. $18,000. Again, an American call out. The transition altitude in America is 18,000, which is very high, I will say. Most Europe ranges between 4 and 6,000, so yeah, 18,000. Guess it just doesn't seem quite as safe as lower ones, because at least with flight levels at lower altitude, you now know exactly where aircraft are. In the US, barometer changes no matter where you are, so that is the big thing you need to keep an eye out for. There you go, airport now visible to our left in a couple of moments. How sharp is this final turn actually making us do? If it's a little harsh, I can always go on to manual. Autopilots, yeah. So once we get to Sab, I'll go for a manual straight bit. We're making a left-hand turn and curve back into the runway. Because Sab to the intercept, it's quite a harsh angle with that. It's quite an acute one. Obtuse is usually better for the final turns to the runway. And if we do need to go for a go around, that's the holding points right ahead of us now. Alright, keeping out for the airports, that'll be just to our left. And then also the town of Venice, that'll be to our... will it be left or right? Let's have the map. Still in front of us. But it will be to our left. Let's get the heading set up for the manual flights. Current 038, we'll go to 40. As you know we can't be, because that's the left turn coming up now. Yeah, 0 to 20 will be enough for us. Speed brakes armed again. About to reach 10,000, so got to ensure that the airspeed is prepared. Set the altimeter, see if that keeps us above 10,000. It does by a little bit. We're passing 10,000. Cabin crew 10 minutes to landing, 10 minutes.
Cabin crew 10 minutes to landing, 10 minutes.
Turn on the landing lights, those can now come on. Everything else stays the same as it is. Speed brakes will now bring the aircraft below 250. There we go. And then I'll say in a couple of moments we'll then start lowering the flaps to help us slow down, as well as bring the aircraft to correct landing speed. That there is Venice, I believe. Unless it's... no, that there is Venice. Not quite as impressive in the sim as it is in real life. Probably could have done with some morpho here, but I'm not quite sure how to look over the water, so I think that's why I decided not to go for it.
Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
There we go. So what I'll now do is set the manual heading. Actually make it 025. And then as soon as we get onto the... Oh, that's a little low right now. There we go. So as soon as we get onto a perpendicular line with the tip of the intercept, I'm talking random words right now, but I know how it works in my mind. As soon as we're in line with the tip of the intercept, we'll make the left-hand turn, get onto a proper intercept with it, and then make the final turn a lot easier to work with. As long as I'm around 2000 for it, that's when we can get back onto the autopilots for that. So let me make it my next waypoint. So that as soon as I flex back onto the LNAV again, the aircraft will manage that as well. Also, I can now preset the VNAV back onto it. And it will continue my descent. Yes, it does. While managing my speed. We'll go for our first stage of flaps. Airport is to my left. I'll be able to see it from here. How far in front of me left? It's about there. Where is the runway? I hope it's not the case of live stream again where the airport did not actually load up until I touched down, meaning I was landing on a field. That was kind of awkward, I will be honest. Where is it? I'm sure once I'm on final I'll be able to spot it without any issues, but like I said, it'd be nice to know where it is at an earlier stage. Quickly announce lips traffic. Descending to 2000 for runway 22, ETA approx 4 minutes. So announce that we are 4 minutes away from runway 22. In case there is any other traffic in the area that I may have missed, but like I said, that's basically zero. It's EasyJet who departed from Greece actually to Gatwick, so you're not going to go anywhere near me. Swiss is long gone, so it's just me on my own right now. A little left to go on this straight line here. Go for the second stage of flaps now. So there's Venezia, there's Venice. And actually the canals kind of existing in the world, but like I say, it's not quite as impressive in sim as in real life. We've got a beach as well. Did not know Venice had a beach. I thought it was all just canals and nothing else. The more you know. But regardless of that, beach is something to worry about later. Like I say, runway 22 landing is what I need to be focusing my mind on right now. Passengers are expecting a touchdown, or is to be engaged in 4 minutes. Be a little bit behind, but nothing by too much. Quick final check, seatbelt sign is set, cockpit is secure, passengers will be seated as well as the cabin crew. We'll go for seats for landing message in a couple of moments. Everything says we should be, landing lights are on. We could depressurize the aircraft now, but we won't. Left hand side of Venice, right hand side is just the wouldn't be the agency, I don't think. What C would this be? Not that. Could be the Aegean actually, but Aegean is just Greece, so I have to do a bit of research about the local Italian coastline. I say I didn't particularly do too much geography. I did 1 year of geography at A level actually on geography, but dropped out because I wasn't particularly. No, sorry, no, it was history I dropped out. So geography actually completed. Sorry, been a couple of years since I've been to college, but yeah, geography I did. It was history I dropped. Did my GCSEs, passed out with a B, but I think A levels just a bit too much for me. Bit too much writing. Yeah, very time consuming subjects. Enjoyed it, but too long. Right, I'll go to 2-0 now. Where is this runway? I hope the airport will load again. But I honestly haven't got a clue where it is right now. Right, so give it another minute flying this heading. But left turn isn't too far away from us now. I can tell you that we're not going to be established to any ILS frequency for landing. It's fine, 1995, 1995. But yes, as you are coming from the other way, I'm not expecting this to particularly work. Set the auto brakes to 2 for this runway. I know it has worked. Perfect on something. Let's bring back the LNAV now. And by the time we've completed this turn, we should be at rather nice intercepts for the runway. Next stage of flaps. Time is 17 past 9 local. Meant to land at 20 past 9. So doing alright as it stands. Like I say, in the real world, I'm sure the actual route will take is a little less drawn out than this one. I should still see us arrive without too much hassle. And yeah, the aircraft will now continue to descend to get us down to 2,000 by the time we do get onto the glide slope. As well as our next waypoint by the looks of things. Keeping out for this airport. Well, it looks like it's going to be another field landing for me. Very annoying. Runway markers do appear, but that's about it. Taxi on grass. Have a look into the scenery for this airport. I mean, this is default scenery. So I'm not quite sure why Milan wouldn't actually appear. It's like it's an Aerosoft modified one, I don't think, but yeah, should really be on the airports that load up quite easily like that. Two stage of flaps to landing. Stick on the VOR localizer. double check. It is 155 our reference landing, is it? 151. So I actually set that up now. Next stage of, whoops, not speed brake, sorry, flaps. Gear down. So the flaps key config. I need to double check my settings right now. Right, autopilot disconnect. And stop our descent for the time being. So I'm a little concerned about their altitude now. This is our slight alignment with the runway, so we should be on auto throttle still. No, apparently we're not. At least it's not doing a spectacular job at keeping us at altitude. Runway is in sight now, and the airport has loaded. Thank you very much. So 22 left I need, so get back onto the intercept. In fact, we'll take it back onto the LNAV and VNAV. That the autopilot actually isn't active right now. So, right hand turn. Disarm the auto throttle. We can do it manually from this point on, a little higher and a bit further than we'd normally go for. But the diamonds will guide us into the runway, regardless of the heading. Flaps set, gear down, 3 greens, auto brake sets. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing. We're a little late, but anyway.
Please cease for landing.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude 7.
Thank you very much. Down 700 feet. 3 whites, 1 red. So we need to bring the aircraft down a bit. 2 reds, 2 white. Bring it in nice and central. Not to float it too much. 170, looking good. Rest thrust sets. Let's bring the aircraft down to a standstill. Knots, reverse thrust cuts. Not quite sure what I said there at all. Bring up the braking. And there we have it. Exit the runway at this turn point here. Speed brakes removed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. You can now use your
Flaps
mobile
come
devices.
up.
Please remain seated suspended until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to
And
use
that we have
caution
left
when
the
opening
active
the overhead
runways.
bins, as items may have shifted during the flight.
Landing lights can now
If
come
this is your
off
final
in place
destination,
of
we thank
taxi
you for flying
lights.
with us. If
And
you're
we'll
making a
make the
connection,
right
we
turn
encourage
here.
you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth
Landing wasn't
continuation of
particularly
the journey.
too bad. Flaps are now up. Just take off. Sorry, landing brakes will now remove as well. And taxiing, it's not too far away from the main terminal, but being right there, we are going to be using remote stands, and passengers will require a bus to get to the terminal. Not the nicest way of doing things, but it is the Ryanair way here at Venice, and this is a mainstream airport. As Ryanair used to fly to the lesser Venice airport until actually a couple of years ago. They did recently change that, so actually months ago I'd say. So, let's close these terminals to the back here, follow this around. That fuel truck's gonna cut right ahead of me. As if the path is now clear, if any other vehicles will continue our way. Zoom into that if I'm really interested, but not particularly. You guys they may be. Left hand turn. Keeping out stand numbers, it's 324, so that actually is one of them. We'll go to 323. So right there, yeah. Flights to and from Stansted. It's 320 to 326. Should turn on the APU, so we'll quickly start that up while we continue this tiny bit taxi left. Plane to a halt. Hold the brakes. Park brake on. Can't shut off the engines just yet until the APU stabilizes, but taxi lights can come off. Turn off the engine bleeds and the packs. It'll just be the APU bleed once that comes on in a couple of seconds. There we go. Power on the APU. APU bleed on. Engines off. Whoops, engine not trim. So, there we have it. With the engines off, we can now set the anti-collisions off. Strobe can stay on, that's pretty much fine. And as for ground services, the chocks are put in place as well as GPU. Out the panel, both sets of stairs, forward conveyor belt, fuel truck will arrive, as well as both buses. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to Venice. Approximately local time is now 9:30, with temperatures about 22 degrees at the moment. Once again, we do thank you for flying Ryanair today. We hope to see you on the future flights, and we'll be deboarding the aircraft through both sets of doors in just a couple of moments. Thank you very much for flying with us today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your week. So we'll modify that as a deboarding status check.
We're still boarding. Let us know if you need anything.
Okay, they won't play the sound back, but regardless, we'll use that as an opportunity to set the aircraft to go. Set stairs are here. Buses though, not just yet. Those are a little bit behind. Moving on to ground power. APU can now come off. Seems like actually could come off a little earlier as well. That's fine. And then buses in position. Doors will open. Go to the next page. Doors open, open, and the cargo door can open as well. Perfect. So this will be a turnaround flight. This is the start of the day. We won't program anything else into this since I'm going to fly it back. But I say passengers will now be deboarding the aircraft. PAX has their encounter about 4 minutes after departure, otherwise the expected arrival will still continue to count down. Probably should stop the moment you turn the engines off. That would be a slight change I'd put in as well. Let me now finish off the flight trackers. So, project's flight will now complete. That's all good. Virtual Ryanair will finish the flights. Fire the pirate. And then that's all sorted. And most important one, PAX will end the flights. Have a look at the stats. So, FR792. Stansted standing rate was 167. Soft landing, unexpected delay. Not particularly, but again, it just comes into the real world stuff. We're behind didn't even warn us. Tell you some of my friends about this airline. Landing was very smooth, and that's about it. Upload the stats, it's always good. And close that. So, give it a few seconds on the ground before we shut all the doors and stuff and go for the landing replays. But it wasn't particularly too bad flight. Slightly interesting setup for the approach. I need to learn that if there is no stats on the FMS, then regardless of what the other runways are like, just ignore it. It's not worth it. Only the bad will come from messing around with that. Alright, close the exits. And what I now want to do is wait for the exits to completely close. And let's now stick it on replay mode. We can just remove ourselves from that sim first. Last thing I want to do is cause any hassle with that. And yeah, stick it on short final. 243 seems to be the nice number. Go for the right hand side, since this is the interesting view. Left hand side's not particularly much to look at. If you want the airport, this is the side to be. Speed's looking fine for knots, so is our attitude. Everything's nice and stable. Then comes to the threshold. Over the runway, and like I said, there's a little float at the end there. That's the 160 touchdown, which isn't too bad. So that's my best landing actually in the last couple of flights. Done a few heavier ones recently. This was a nice one to end the day. We went to start the day actually. Like I say, it's now 9:30 in the morning, so if we get the airport out of the airport in about, well, next bus will leave in about 10 minutes every 20. So probably won't make it to the next bus. We'll make it for the 10 o'clock one. And then be in the city centre come 10:20, which means first thing we will do is actually just go straight to the gondola section. Here comes the airports. Approach looking nice and stable. View from the front, since that's the interesting bit. Yeah, like I say, it's not a little bad view of that. Let's grab a quick screenshot of it. I do apologise for the white screen, just ignore this. Yeah, so it's looking very smooth, that. Floats and down. Yeah, rear gear first. Now's the front gear touch. Pretty much spot on landing that. Not much I can particularly say that I'd do differently. But there we are. Welcome to Venice. So, like I say, this is a trip I'm doing in the real world. This is only a day trip. So if you're interested in seeing another premiere from me, then do tune in tonight around 8:15 UK time, where we get to see my return flights back to Stansted. But I think for me, for now, like I say, I need to get out of the airport, head to the bus station, where I can then catch a connection to the city centre, where it's got gondola rides, find a place for food, and then stick around for the sights in the city. So, I do thank you guys very much for tuning in this morning. If you did, do like if you enjoyed it, do subscribe, and yeah, I'm sure I'll see you in the near future. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.